name is Amethyst Treleaven, and this is Celtic Ogham reading 775 for Julie. Julie, thank you for giving me the opportunity to read for you. You've asked me to give you some indications about your relationship, where it currently stands, and what the future holds for you, particularly in terms of your relationship. So let's have a bit of a look at that. The reading, the spread that we have out in front of us looks at the past here and goes into the future over here. But let's start off with this stave here, which is you. And this is all about transition. This stave here, you, the yew tree, themes all of your reading. And it is about transition, it is about change. And it tells me that there's been considerable change in your life over the last year or so, particularly in the last 6 months. But it also suggests that there is more change coming up in the future as well. This also says to me that the change has not just been about physical changes around you, but also about changes in your own attitudes and your own thoughts about what you want. What I sense here is that you are beginning to question your own happiness, not just in your relationship, and you haven't asked me about this necessarily, but I feel it's in your job as well, and that your self-esteem is been taking a little bit of a hammering. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we'll talk about it now. This section here is the past. Normally it's anything up to the last 12 months. For you, we're talking about the last 6 months or so. And what themes your last 6 months is this stave here, this Ogham stave here, and this is Blackthorn. Now, I've said on a number of occasions that Blackthorn is not my most favourite stave, but I'm pleased that it is in the past of your reading rather than in the future. Why I'm pleased that that is the case is because Blackthorn is about sadness, it's about depression, it's about desolation, isolation, feeling alone. And I sense for you, with these other two here, Alder underneath and then Hazel on the top, and we'll talk about those in a moment, that the last 6 months, the last 3 months particularly, has been a time of great loneliness for you, and that you have felt very much that your self-esteem has taken a huge battering. You really are, I get the sense that you're a creative woman. You had such passion for ambition for the future, and for some reason that has gone, and we're going to talk about that now as well. Now, this stave that's underneath Alder is about receiving and giving advice. But what I keep hearing for you is it's not so much about advice, it's about you continually being told by people that you are not worthy, that you are worthless, that you have no meaning. And so, as I mentioned before, that has had an impact on your self-esteem. I also keep seeing a little boy with blonde hair. I think this might be your son. You haven't told me if you have any children, but I'm assuming that it's your son. He's about 2 or 3 years old. And you keep being told by other people that you are not a good mum. I want you not to take any notice of that. You are a good mum and you're doing the very best that you can with what you know. You're also being hammered by people who are telling you you're not doing a good job at work, and I keep sensing that a lot of the negativity that's coming into your life is from your partner. I keep sensing as well that you, around all of this, apologies if I hesitate on occasions, the messages don't always come through in logical order, and we just have to grab them and run with them. Wisdom is the representation of this Ogham here, which sits on top of this, which sits on top of Alder, which I'm really glad to see. And This is Hazel. Now, Hazel is very much about you having your own strength. So your self-esteem has taken a hammering. We can see that. You are sad. You are lonely. You feel betrayed. You feel left out. You are, the decision making in your life seems to have been whisked away from you. Has your partner has recently lost his job about a month ago. I'm sensing, I think that's what it is. There's been a massive financial change in the last month as well, and you're feeling really burdened by all of that. You have to look after your son, you have to go to work, you have to look after all of the finances. So the last 6 months has been not well. Your sister, I think it's a sister. It's a female. She's about the same sort of age as you, perhaps a couple of years older, and she's been unwell. And you've been worried. Perhaps it's a really good friend, but it's someone that you're very, very close to. I think it's your sister has been unwell. Let's move on here to the current Ogham in the spread. This is Broom, and this is about sweeping clean the slate so that you can move from the past into the future. I feel very much that you are at a point of decision making. I've got a really strong sense that you already know what your future holds, and that what I'm talking to you about now is really about confirmation for you. I don't think I'm going to tell you anything that you don't already know. But I feel that because your self-esteem has been so hammered, what you are trying to find is someone to confirm what it is that you want to do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more here. But Broom says that you're hesitating over the decisions. You want to leave your partner. You want to make some new changes, but you're afraid of the changes that's coming through here. You're afraid of the changes. You're afraid of finance. You're afraid of the repercussions. Broom says that unless you make changes, the status quo will remain. And it says to me that you've been asking yourself the question, how much longer can I keep putting up with the problems that I'm facing? Am I able to stand this for another year? And I think you know the answer to that. I sense also there's some changes. You want to make some changes at work. But Broom is very much about saying that you cannot make changes and step forward into the future until you rid yourself of the past, until you are firm enough to sweep away all of the old stuff from the past so that you can make room for the future. So let's have a bit of a look at the future. I'm really pleased to see this Ogham in there, this Ogham stave in there. This is Apple. These are your future staves, and this is the one that themes your next 6 months or so for you. Actually, we're going to extend that and say that's for a year, but the next 6 months are pretty tumultuous for you. They're full of change, and of course that's you speaking again. That's the U tree. I'll talk about all of these three and then we'll draw it all together. Underneath here we have aspen, and this is fear. Now the aspen tree has white bark. You can see that it's quite light bark, and in the wind it shivers, and so it's representative of fear. You want to make some changes, and again I keep sensing that you want to leave your partner and make a new start, but you're afraid of what will happen financially. You are also, I'm just being told as well that you're also afraid for your physical health, for your physical well-being. And you're afraid what will happen with your little boy. There are also pets. I was going to say it's a goat. Does that make sense? You have a goat. And you have a dog as well, but you have a goat. We're really keen at the end of this reading for you to tell me where the goat fits in. But you're afraid of what those decisions will bring. But over the top of that is oak. Now this is fantastic yet again. Oak is about stability. the next 6 months for you is not going to be about stability, but it's about you building stability. At the moment, you feel that you have none. You feel that you have no control over your life, that your partner and other people have control over your life. You are afraid that the job that you are in, do you work with food? I see lots of food around you. That you have no control in your job either, and you want to be secure. You want your own stability. Well, that's what Oak is all about. Oak also says to me that you tend to be a person who gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, and then you have a tendency to burn out. And this is where you are at now. You are at the point of, I cannot take this anymore, but you're afraid to make decisions. Broom says you must make decisions in order for things to get better. Now, when we put all of that together, and when I put the whole reading together, what I see very clearly for you is that there are massive changes in terms of your relationship status. I think, I'm absolutely sure that you've already made the decision here that you are going to seek a new life without your current partner. I don't think that's anything new. I don't think I'm telling you anything new, I guess is what I'm saying, but that you just need confirmation that you're doing the right thing. These staves here tell you absolutely you're doing the right thing. What it also says, though, is that you're going to change your job. You are going to be moving house in July. It's only for 2 or 3 months, though, and then you'll be moving on to another house, which will be much longer term. You're going to have fantastic support from your family. You're a bit worried about that at the moment, this tells me. You're not sure whether you'll have support from your family, but you will. And you'll have massive support from friends as well. Financially, things will be a little bit tough for a couple of months, but then things are going to pick up after that. So please don't worry too much about that. By September of this year, you're going to be much more settled. You're actually going to go back to college in January. I'm being told that it's something about fabric, design. It's not dressmaking, so maybe it's about design of clothing. I'm not sure, but you're a very creative person, and in the last couple of years or so, all that creativity seems to have been hammered out of you, so to speak, with circumstances. So you want to pick that back up again, and so you'll go back to college in January, and you'll start studying that as well. You will have great changes in finances, as we talked about, and things are going to be much better for you. In terms of the health of your family members, that will pick up again by about November. I'm also sensing, I'm being told, your little boy got long blonde hair. So your little boy, it looks very feminine, but I'm sure it's a little boy. And does he have skin problems? Does he have really dry skin, sort of like eczema? I encourage you to go and get that checked out. Also, because you've got Oak here, really important that you look after your health in the next year or so, because you tend to burn out and you tend to get really tired. Now also your birth, Ogham, you told me that your birthday is the 2nd of January, and your birth Ogham is Birch, or Beth as it's known. Now birch is one of the first trees to blossom again at the end of winter. It's a groundbreaker. I know that you've lost your self-esteem and you're a little bit concerned about your ability to do things, but you are a strong, determined woman. You have patience, you are diligent, you see things through. And birch is somebody that says you can make new beginnings, you can start again, which is all around this decision making that you're doing as well. Birch people sometimes can be a little bit stubborn. Other people can think that you're a little bit stubborn, but it's not about stubbornness. It's about, for you, it's about knowing what you need to do. Once you've made the decision to something, you just go ahead and do it. Birch people make great leaders as well. They take risks once they've weighed up all of the options. So when we put all of those together, definitely a year of transition behind and in front of you, but it's good transition. What I sense is that the last 6 months has been very difficult change. The next 6 months will be difficult change, but it will be difficult change with fantastic outcomes for you. So please, take solace in the fact that although that you need to make difficult decisions right now, the end results are going to be fantastic. Lots of changes for you coming up towards the beginning of next year as well. I hope that is helpful for you, Julie, and I look forward to having the opportunity to read for you at another time in the future.